Good morning and good evening. Welcome back to the stream. Good evening, girlsies and guysies. Steffi, good evening to you too. It's the weekend. It's finally here. Yeah, that means off the rails weekend. And off the rails weekend means I am going to what? What am I doing here? I was fixing stuff. Off the rails weekend means I'm going to do something related, but not necessarily what's according to plan, which is the perfect time to work on the world building. So, uh, what's the plan for the day? Well, I'm glad you asked. See, I'm timing now my intro thingies. So, to arrive at your question. So, today I am going to take I guess, what I started off with timeline here in Milton. Where was it? Uh, yeah, what was it? Yeah, so where I started off with the timeline here, what I'm now going to do is I'm going to try to create some factions that, let's say, it's fine that don't want them to be hidden. I don't. It's fine if they're a little spoilery, and I'm gonna try to just start throwing out ideas for motives and then connecting the dots. Since what I don't want the world building to be, let's say, only for the plot that you just take a string, take some kind of plot point as like a string, and once you follow it, it completely works. It's like a good, nice like path. It has everything that a good story should need. But if you kind of start pulling at it from different angles, like from different perspectives of characters and interactions, it kind of completely falls apart. So I'm going to try to do something like that. And I guess the best thing for that is to just take a look at some core questions. So, one that we had last time that was actually brought up um, was yeah, let's go like here. So one of the first questions that was brought up, let's go with point 8, was age. Then we had what next? I guess economy. Economy, it wasn't brought up, but I thought that was pretty important. Next, I'm gonna say protection, but that's basically the same as. Actually, no. Before age, before economy, definitely there has to be faction. Factions, then economy. Then let's see. World building. I love that. Maybe you could do some character building today. Oh yes. So yeah, that was the idea. I wanted to create like the, let's say, so there are the intrinsic stuff to characters that is basically what belongs to the characters as like their core internal beliefs, and I am also now making just some like general case things that are present in the world that I'm gonna want the characters to have, and it's just like kind of a boundary. So this is a boundary for me to make sure that the characters are not too over the top. So yeah, let's say for today, yeah, so like age, factions, economy, like these are lenses. That's a great word. These are lenses from which to further explore characters. Oh, actually, I can do like, yeah, this is gonna be great. Age, factions, economy, and then sure, let's say for now those three are good. So let's pick a character. Oh, I went obsidian somewhere else. I'm not gonna show my exact notes because I do want to keep those a little bit spoiler free. Right. And just to give a short briefing, though, okay, I guess it doesn't matter that much. Yeah, let's start with, I guess, characters that appear first, and we can go from there. Uh, yeah. Okay. Hmm. Mm. Let's start with Bro. Yeah. This is gonna be an economy is something I haven't thought of for the world of Lord. Oh, and by the way, I decided on the name Philoblunts for the planet's name. Ooh, okay, nice. Philoblunts. Sounds. Yeah, it has a name. It already has some kind of Philoblunts. It already has some kind of like portrayal of how I imagine. Like weirdly enough, I'm hearing it, and for some reason, your like world is now a little bit more what's that term? Sorry, Scandinavian. Like for some reason, I guess it just sounds like Philoblands. Like it's something that sounds a bit from that region. Like just the first thought that came to mind. Philoblands. But I do like it. It has a nice ring to it. And as for economy, me neither. I have not thought about it at all. So, guess, yeah, let's just start with the first character that's kind of, I don't even know if I can spoiler since it is absolutely basic. So, we just have Bro. So, Bro is, okay, I guess there are spoilers for Bro, but Bro is basically an embodiment of a character that is completely oblivious to many problems of the world and like the general perception of them. And it is a character that is there for the purpose of like from their own internal motivation to have fun. So I guess I could yeah, I'll make another one like extension for just motivation, I guess. Motif. Motive. Yeah, so internal motive is, I guess, just looking at it. Let's say fun. I don't know. Does that make sense? No, it's not necessarily fun, but um, it's kind of more so. How do I say this? Are there any examples of characters that I am drawing influence, like a reference from? Like characters that are kind of goofy. They're kind of goofy, I guess, from Disney. No, no. Maybe. So characters that. Uh, what? And in other news, I lost all my progress on Lord. I was performing routine maintenance on my computer and clicked on the button to delete unnecessary folders, files, and for some reason it recognized the lowered folder as unnecessary and deleted it. So now I'm forced to restart. I am so sorry to hear that. Is there something? Okay, the character building stuff can wait. Is there uh, have you tried any recovery stuff? Like, are you on Mac, Windows, or Linux, or maybe some like on Windows? Okay, and you've checked like the recycle bin, correct? Like because the reason why I'm saying is when you delete something, it's actually not deleted like computer wise. Like it is still there in memory in your. I have, but it seems to be empty. Okay, because how computers work is they when they delete something, they don't actually properly delete it usually, unless like you specify to your computer that you completely want to wipe it and override it like very meticulously. What actually happens is that Windows stops tracking that information, but it's still there unless you write something new on top of it. So, Windows recover files, recently deleted files. Uh, okay, because there definitely has to be something about that. Um, okay. Okay, Microsoft's got a day. Best bet for a tree. Try the recycle bit first. Yeah, what if I. Uh, Microsoft is correct. Microsoft free command line utility. Tries to recover deleted files. Knows Windows file recovery tool supports calculator drives, SSDs, USB drives. Aha, visits Microsoft's type the appropriate. Okay, so I have found a link. On some ways, it's not that horrible of an event. My code was horrible, and I'm glad I have the chance to restart it, as well as be able to add features that I originally couldn't because of how I designed the game to work. So I think I'll stick restarting the project. Okay, but did this include like all of your art and like the UI stuff you were working on, or is that saved? No, that's all saved in Asprite. Oh, so this is just like um the code that you had been working on. So the very like the first drafts, prototypes of it. Yeah, only the code is gone. Okay, yeah, then that in that case, yeah, I understand. It's not that bad. Um, yeah, I guess happy to hear that like all of your art and everything else is still intact. Um, in case you do get curious, um, I found this. There's a point to like basically it just shows that there are some tools that can, if you act quick enough, like maybe find the files that you have deleted, but Windows hasn't permanently deleted. So if you're not going to do that now, that's perfectly fine. But maybe in case at some point it comes up in the future, so that's something. But yeah, sorry for the reaction. I actually got very invested for a bit since I did. I thought it was also about like the art that you were doing, and I did not want like to hear like losing that kind of progress. So that sounded scary. So yeah. Right. Okay. I guess then we can jump back to guess character creation. Though now I'm thinking, okay, I have the lenses of age, factions, economy, and motive, but what am I doing? I guess maybe I should first get like a general understanding of things. So, hmm. I guess maybe I'll add like a spoilers point here. Since so this is spoilers to how the game is this is spoilers to how the game is gonna be in the past. This is no longer technically gonna be in the present for when the game is set, but still I'm gonna mark it as spoilers. Just in case. So let's just have a little think about characters. So characters are mostly divided into groups based on kind of power, based on the time that they came to the world, and also based on their names. So in this world, names actually have a lot of significance. So the first that I'm going to talk briefly just mention are no namers. So no namers, just in the implies, is usually something that's reserved for the deities and powerful beings. So these would be the creatures that, let's say, the creatures or beings that creatures and beings that existed before the plate was created, right? So it makes sense. And in terms of what to expect from these no-namers, they kind of interact indirectly. Their whole thing is usually indirect interaction. Next, their goals are often unclear. And what else? What else? Mm-mm-mm-mm. Direct interaction, goals unclear. What was it else? Guess yeah, I'll say just that much for now. Then next to no namers, we have, I guess, one namers. So one namers in a way are also they're also deities sometimes, than just also powerful beings. But it's kind of a bit more specific. So these two, in a way, are on two separate, I guess, on two separate sides, but also on the same side. So whereas no namers are just entities kind of in the background, observed through the world itself, through how it functions, how it is built, since it is most of what is done with the world, like the actual um, um, like no namers are responsible often for shaping the actual material world. Um, then the one namers are so if we were to say no namers form the mantle, the form of the world, like the air, atmosphere, gravity, all of the things that are, in a way, a little bit invisible, but are necessary to exist, like time, space, existence, etc. The one namers are the ones that are like the artists that take everything that has like everything that is created by the no namers and just twists it and amps it and turns it into something that is identifiable, something that is its own, has its own purpose, meaning, like just starts the process of that. So is there like a hierarchy? No namers are at the bottom, one namers are higher, etc. So there isn't technically an obvious, how to say, technically speaking, I guess no namers are more powerful than one namers, like technically speaking, but that is only because no namers choose to just create. Here is a perfect like separation. No namers choose to create stuff without placing themselves into, like, without placing their own physical like representation of themselves into it, whereas one namers do create their own physical representation inside of like this common space, like I'll just call it the universe that the deities are creating. They're placing themselves physically into that universe, and then from there they are using their powers in a restricted way, which is more predictable and aligns with the way that the world is being built. Like how you can imagine is like if everything right um, is on a table, um, like the whole universe. Like this is not the plate. Like the plate is here, and the plate is taking up only like a small. That's an egg. Yeah, but that's fine. The plate is taking up like only a small bit of the space in this universe. Like, of course, there's stuff that exists beyond, but in here is encapsulated like rules, substances, I guess, laws, etc. So everything is on this table, like a board game, for example. So no namers are just entities that are playing here. So these are the no namers. They are shaping the board. They are shaping the table. They are shaping um, structures from a topside view, but not necessarily going too into the details of what's happening expressly on the plate. They have some interaction, but not that much. Now, one namers are actually in here. They are in here sometimes, like, not necessarily on the plate, sometimes on the plate. So both, I'm just going to show a one. You're both in the physical manifestation of, I guess, the universe and the plate, or the plate, and or the plate, and they are interactive. So, both the player and the other like lesser characters of the game, they can see that these deities have a present or powerful beings, and they can actually interact with them. They can maybe if they get too close, even like spot them in the sky or something. So yeah, so since they have like a physical representation, they are restricted in power, since they have to abide by what is created by the no-namers. But if the table was taken away, basically these deities are the same in power, more or less. So, where the no-namers are like in direct interaction, one-namers have very much direct interaction. Direct interaction. Then let's see. Goals are still somewhat unclear. Somewhat unclear. Based on being. And then have physical manifestation. And usually their source of power is their own internal source of power. Though, no, I can't really say internal sense of power. So, first order source of power. Yeah, there we go. So now I actually really like that. So first order source of power, what does that mean? Source of power. So first order source of power just means that their powers are actually from their own self that is still kinda like somewhat present outside of the table. I'm just gonna call it the table. I don't know why, but let's say um, their source of power is yeah. So everything is counted from the outside inward. So like no namers are basically just zero of order because they're not restricting their power. They're just using it on the table, and that's it. First, one namers are restricting themselves so that they have a physical representation on the table, but they are still, so they are limited in their power, but they are still connected directly to it. So that means they have first order power. So that would go like so. And different deities differently into different amounts restrict their own power, and it is up to them to manage how much of it they have. There is nothing else out there. So other deities can also like somewhat try to restrict power, but in the end, it's kind of a constant balancing act of they are slowly returning to their original form. Um, they are either no, they are either returning slowly to their original form outside of the table, or all of their power is moving into the table and kind of expanding it. So, um, no deity is able to completely contain the power of another deity. And even if, like, an infinite amount of other deities tried to tried to contain the power of like one deity, it wouldn't be possible. So in a way, this is kind of the main consideration and the main motifs for keeping their power in check for the one namers, is that by restricting their own power, they gain a lot more interactivity with the the table itself, since now they have a sense of time, they have a sense of space, they can interact with their own creations or the creations of other deities. However, they must constantly monitor their own like sources, like their own link to their original power, since if they completely expend all of it, they're just going to stop existing. They are going to um, not maintain a stable physical resemblance of themselves. At the same time, if they push in too much power, they can just explode the table, and basically all of it just stops existing. So that is like the main consideration of one namers. Um, so I guess, yeah, cannot be contained, be fully contained, uh, and then cannot be fully contained, and then the other one, what was it? Constant balancing act of power shifting. Constant balancing act of power shifting. Shifting. Wow, I am both impressed and obsessed. Very, very happy to hear that. So, fun fact, Steffi and whoever else is watching right now, you are the first people to hear about this, like no namers, one namers, and the like a higher level like workings of the world. I have been thinking about this for weeks. These ideas like originally have been like thought up at some random point in the span of 4 years or something, and I am now finalizing it because I'm trying to make it a TRPG and also I'm making the game, but I haven't been able to tell anyone because I'm afraid it's gonna do like spoilers. Um, um, Weeks. My deity system was created in less than 3 hours. Lol. Okay, so it's not like what I mean by it took weeks is that, yeah, the system itself was created in a couple of hours. It's the same as that, but I have this like as I mentioned in some stream, that what I do with my thoughts is I usually like present them in my head to someone or to myself, and then present them again and present them again and present them again. And that's kind of because I'm just really excited about them and I usually really want to tell someone, but in this case I couldn't. And what's happening with every single time that I'm presenting it, I'm telling the story a little bit differently, the explanation a little bit differently, and so it just iterates a little bit more. Like at first, okay, one namers are just like powerful beings, but then I think, oh, okay, they're also um, deities, or maybe deities in disguise, and then um, or like now this time I am actually like physically telling it, like what I what I'm writing down here, this is all just like stuff that I'm making up like on the spot, like these actual like rules, but they were in some way like fuzzy inside my head. So um yeah, I guess that's what I was trying to say. So it's not like I took and thought about and took like weeks to create the idea that, oh, deities have a physical representation. That was just like a thought that came to mind, but I have been rehearsing that thought quite a couple of times just to see if, like, I think it's interesting enough at first, and then if I can present it in an interesting way. Like, since if I can present it in an interesting, exciting way, then that just gives me A, more motivation to think about it, and B, also hope that it would be nice and interesting if I presented it to someone else. Um, so yeah, where was I? Yeah, so like if it well, you succeeded in the interesting part. I am so happy to hear that. It is so good to finally talk about this stuff. I have been waiting. I don't know. I wasn't sure what I was going to be talking about on the weekend, but I have been waiting for the weekend basically the whole work week. That's just the whole work week was a bit of a mess, but I am just really happy to finally get it out. So, get it out I shall. Let's move on since I really, at least for today, I'd like to talk about all of the different namers and just to kind of round off the characters like in a broader sense of the world. So yeah, one namer's constant balancing of power shifting. So in a way, their power is only limited by themselves, really. Next, let's just quickly drop down and talk about two namers. So also I wrote that there are powerful beings here. So powerful beings are, let's say, cannot be fully contained, first order source of power. So let's just add here, usually, since there are some beings though that there are some beings that are kind of split, like the deities, but split. So usually deities just create one representation of themselves, and that is their that is their mind, that is their consciousness, that is that. Some deities are more like puppet masters in a way. So you have these other characters, like I'm just using shapes here, and they are connected to the same deity, and they're kind of the physical representation of the deity, but also in a bit of a minor scale with more restrictions, more concrete parts, just to make sure that they are not, like, it is still possible to maintain it, like, because maintaining just one physical manifestation is already quite difficult, because every single interaction in the physical plane calls into question how much power do you have? Like, at any point in time, like at any moment, a deity can just accidentally say, I use all of my power. Like, if, for example, let's say you were playing like a board game and you lost and you rage, and instead of like flipping the table, like the physical example would be just any deity at any point can just say, I flip the table. And if you flip the table, everything is gone. So in the same way that like a character representation of a deity could just say, screw all of this and just like wipe everything out. Like they put all of their power into it and they just delete everything. Like it would be like them just shoving themselves into everything and now it's all just gone. So doing that with only one physical representation is hard. Doing that with a couple of representations, it's even harder. That is why they're usually lesser in power, and they are now, in a way, like, they also have a certain level of consciousness that helps to drive behavior. I don't know. Let's I need to think about this one for a second. So name beings. Okay, so no namers. Okay, so these more powerful beings, they come in a couple of flavors. So the first one is just a being, a deity, um, splitting itself into more parts and trying to exist. These are usually very unstable, very powerful, and also like unstable, powerful, but not that complicated creatures that are just in a way I don't know. I guess I haven't really. So here's interesting. So I have characters already for this. Like I have the characters that are the physical representations of deities. That I do have. Like for example, nature is a physical representation. So there is something called nature, but it has like a different name. Um, but also it has its own like influence over the world. So like nature is spread, every single life form, like every plant, etc. Um, animal, it all comes from like the deity that does nature, right? And it also has its own physical representation. So it's like spread into one like big like clump of power that is like a consciousness of the deity. And also it has the nature bits of it, but the nature bits of it are all both connected to that deity and also to, well no, they are connected to the physical representation, since why would they be triangularly connected? Now, others are actually, and this is how we get two namers. Two namers are in a way. Wait, no. Does this make sense? Does this make sense? 1 second. I'm trying to figure out. Just to take a quick break from this, I finished making a first simple version of the laboratory. Ooh, nice. Oh, nice. That looks really good. Okay, it's kind of like a bit of a clay slab or something, but also like a modern screen, but like brought back a little bit. Yeah, I like the colors. I like what does the E plus boo? Is that like E plus button do? Is that like for increasing the electron count? Yeah, but definitely looks very nice. I'll go and complete the atom laboratory now. Okay. No, the E plus is to create a new element. Okay, gotcha. Okay, makes sense. Hmm. Okay. E plus. Yeah. I would say to me that was like the first instinct that was that this is some kind of extra button for interacting something with the screen. So I guess yeah, the list of is for a list of elements, and the rest of the buttons are self-explanatory. Okay, gotcha. Um, I'm looking at the plus E button, and maybe it should be fine. Since it feels like compared to like the list button, right? I know that layout wise, it's kind of made in the way that, oh, like what's on the left is like buttons for interacting with the laboratory, I guess, view. But for some reason, the E plus for me stands as something that is also interactive with with the specific thing that's shown in the laboratory and not necessarily for making something new. So that is just like my feel for it. Like not saying to change something, but just giving like my own observations. Mm. Uh, um, that's interesting. I'll see how I can change it a bit. Yeah, like just to be completely clear, you wrote that this is like the first version, so like I'm not. Yeah, I'm just giving feedback. Let me know if this is a bit too early, since it's actually been really nice when like you specifically say that. Oh, could you give me like some ideas where what was the last thing? There was a point. Um, sorry, I did not remember at this point, but yeah, just I'll say it completely differently. Let me know if it bothers you that I'm like giving like a premature feedback or something. Yeah, that's something. Of course not. Not all feedback is absolutely amazing. I'm glad I can get your opinion. Okay, yeah. Yep, I'm happy to provide my opinion. I guess just let me know in cases where my opinion is not needed, I guess, in that way. Yeah, because I don't want to influence your decision making too early, because I think that, oh, what I see could maybe like just not completely know. Though I guess that is up to you. That is up to you to hear my opinion and then to decide on your own. Since I do not have all of the understanding of what's like behind the scenes and all of the different systems and how like the overarching art style, for example. So yeah, that is still fully in your control. Do I speak the obvious too often? I don't know. Maybe not. Who knows? Mm-mm. So, oh boy, I do not have a ton of time today, since I'm gonna have to finish up and then go back to sleep, since I have to drive afterwards. So, quick rundown. So, one namers make sense. They basically have the difference between like deities and powerful beings is just one is the complete whole of a deity with its consciousness. The other is maybe just like puppeteering and kind of not necessarily like it's not a no-namer. It's not just a bunch of rules and an environment. It is an actual physical thing, and the deities kind of feel what they're doing through these like puppets, but it's still more like being a puppet master. Um, Now, two namers are where we get to the general majority of creatures, entities, etc. Oh, and also, one namers are also not just powerful beings, but the simple beings too. Simple beings. So, for example, like deer or animals or I don't know, butterflies, etc. So these are like simple beings. They are also one namers. Like they have a name, they have a general name, uh, but they don't. Ooh, on the topic of deities, here am I. Okay, let's go. Deities in the world are each for a different thing. For example, a god of death, a god of light or of life, etc. The gods will be Mortiphane, god of death, Lumiphos, god of light, Vitazio, god of life, Malukako, god of evil, Bonucalo, god of good. Uh, Def, Defiorix, Defiorix, I think that would be how would I assume. God of gods. Okay, nice. Theopatientia, Theopathientia, or Theopatentia, god of patience. Ooh, okay, a god of patience. I like that. Deo Luxuria, god of lust, or Tempu, god of time, Maestro, god of music, Technologio, god of technology, Ayamor, god of love, Irrera, god of the planet. Okay, props to the names. I like the. All the names are made from a mix of Greek and Latin words, so it could be a little difficult to understand. Yeah, but I like the combinations. Some are some make sense, like instantly maestro, like I guess it's Latin for maestro. I don't know if it's a Latin word, but I assume. Um, what were some that I heard and I thought, oh, okay, I knew what this is about, but couldn't like couldn't like tell you exactly why. So, so Mortiphane, that like instantly tells me God of Death. Um, Mortis and Thanato, the Latin and Greek words for death. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, so mortis, I guess I instantly thought of mortal, like so mortal wound, so that makes sense. Yeah. Lumifos, because of lumens, so I guess, yeah, that's light. Um, Lumifos is like mythos, Greek for something that is also light. Or are these not names not necessarily like the combination of one Latin word and one Greek word? Lumen Latin and Phos Greek. Wow, that is cool. That is a really, really nice system. Like, just, and the names that are created are definitely quite unique sounding. Sorry. Um, is Maestro then the same in Latin and Greek? Mm. I have no idea. I took the name from a Doctor Who episode. Are you a Doctor Who fan? I approve. Uh, just yesterday, like the reason why I went late to sleep, like almost at around 12, was I was watching Doctor Who. Um, like I think it's ninth season right now, and yeah, just I was having so fun. I was it was a while since I watched it, but yeah. Oh, I already finished the newest season last week. Okay, yeah. Please no spoilers. I'm kind of like my second half is curating this. So she started me off on, I think, which one was it? Um, is it the fourth Doctor? The fifth? I don't remember exactly, but she kind of started me off, and she's looking at the list, and since there are quite a lot of seasons, we're skipping some of the episodes, and we're oh we started off with Amy Pond. That was the one. So we started off with Amy Pond, and now I'm up to season 9, and I am loving the series so much. I can't believe I never actually tried to watch it. Like I had heard so much about it from just generally scrolling, and I thought, oh, this looks. I always thought that it looked very confusing, but I never even tried to look at how it works, and I would have loved it so much even then. Anyway, um, yeah, really cool names. Thanks for sharing, Steffi. And I would say like they do sound great. Some of them are a bit difficult to pronounce, but I guess that's part of the fun of it, actually. At least for me, like I like just having names that sound interesting and instantly create some kind of like response. So definitely props to the names. If I had to pick a favorite, I would probably say I Am War. I don't know why. Like it's it's both very clear in that this is a god of love, since I imagine it Latin or Greek maybe even is for amor, but like just the Aya part makes it sound like um like lifted a little bit. Yeah. I'm glad you like them. It took me a while to figure out which naming technique to use. Well, yeah, nice, nice. Like definitely a good job with that. Right. So let's say I'm gonna give myself 5 minutes and then I am going to kind of jump off. So, two namers in a nutshell, without kind of going too into depth with how they are made, what happens, and etc. Two namers talks about the people, like, or conscious beings. Conscious beings, aka people, etc. No, no, not necessarily. Like, mm, to give a quick spoiler, the personality of Oyamor is similar to that of Valentino from Has-Been Hotel. That is on my... Okay, maybe I can see Has-Been Hotel, because I have only watched the pilot, I believe, episode, and that is also on my list of things to do. Okay, no, I have not met this character. So I guess I will have to watch it now, definitely. Um, Actually, I'm not watching anything at this point besides Doctor Who. Yeah, but no promises to watch it anytime soon. But yeah, good to know. I'll keep that in mind while watching. Okay, two namers. Yeah, so conscious beings. So basically, the mostly talking about the people characters, like the animals and critters of the world. They also have their own consciousness. Their consciousness is both their own and no, actually no. These are more. What am I saying? This is good. This actually shows a bit of a flaw in my system, or maybe not. Yeah, let's say yeah, for now let's say that the one namers are just being puppeteered by the beings. Now, two namers are kind of a merge. So they either emerge between one deity and another, where let's say one deity provides the power and another deity provides the consciousness. Well, not exactly. It is a mix of different deities and just other elements. So some deities might decide to very, very, very strongly restrict their power and only send a consciousness and rely on other deities to choose like the power level and the constraints. So, as like a situation, let's say we have two deities, right? And we have like one being here, like a being here, right? So, one of the deities could provide like the physical form of this being. One deity could provide the magic of this being, and then another deity just provides the consciousness. like the consciousness of the being. So in a way, every every character, every person, just every normal person is like their consciousness is a deity. So their full consciousness is some kind of deity. They are all powerful, but they have used all of their power to restrict themselves as much as possible. Like all of their attention is basically done, like all of their attention outside is done to that cause, to maintain as much of a stable physical presence as possible. Sometimes it slips up, and that is why people do more than it is expected of them, both from the world and from the deities around them. But in a way, they are very well restricted. And this is not even that, oh, they are, this is their like body, but this is just their like internal voice and like that decision making. Like, I guess a soul in a way, like depending on what you believe. So then, yeah, then we have like a deity that is responsible for, let's say, the body, and then a deity that is responsible for like magic or certain like extra elements. It could also just be a deity that has sent in like its helper form of itself, etc. Like, not going into that, but two namers, like, why are they called two namers? And I guess I'm gonna leave this off with a cliffhanger, but all of the first two generations of, or maybe even more, who knows? Time might tell, but all of the characters, like interactable characters in the game, like they have two names because when they are born with something called the Guardian that is this inside of them. So you would have, I'm just gonna say that, like for simplicity, the first name and the second name. So the first name refers to like the consciousness of this like external being that is the primary driver of the being. And then there is the Guardian, which is kind of like a secondary thing inside of the character that is there to steer them on and do other stuff, let's say. So how this would look like on the plate is you are born, and for the first couple of moments, you have nothing. You have only, there's absolutely nothing, there's nothingness, you just have like a will. And then comes in like knowledge and abilities and physique and form and interactivity with the world, and that is provided by these two deities right here. So then they start feeding in all of the information about yourself, about the world, like your physical form, the environment, etc. Like it all starts slowly coming in. And then at some point, you just kind of become aware, like you create an understanding of what's happening, and you're in the world, and you have thoughts, you have emotions, you have knowledge, but you don't have like a purpose. You don't know what is happening. You don't understand why you have this knowledge, etc. So for these very first moments of absolute confusion, because the character, like the consciousness is so restricted, it doesn't even know that it originates from a deity. There's such a thin like connection to the original deity that it's almost absolutely completely new, but it isn't completely new. So then what happens is the Guardian, which is this bit right here, kicks in, and it starts acting for you. That is why the very first moments of interaction, right? Like the very, very first, like on the 0th year, the very first moments are that characters appear. They just kind of get used to it for a minute or two, and then they just start talking to each other. and they call each other names and they greet each other, and then they just start working. They just start going cutting down trees and building houses and talking about how they're going to handle food and taking a look at the environment, and like they are instantly active. But it is not the conscious part, it is the guardian part. The guardian part is like a teacher, like an internal parent that is acting for the consciousness until it is ready to completely perceive what is happening and act on its own free will. So the guardian just kind of does tests from time to time where, let's say, for example, two characters meet, and one of them like says like hello Bob, and then the guardian does nothing like for a little bit, and it's leaving it up to the consciousness to try to act on its own, try to say hello like whoever name this is, or say something completely different, and then the guardian decides if that is what happens. Like they always have the ability to take control. Like it's kind of like being with a driving instructor, that the driving instructor can always take control of everything that is happening, but the person is still sitting behind the steering wheel. They still have their full like consciousness, their full ideas. And that is the guardian's job at first, to steer the consciousness, to help it acclimatize, to help it learn, to help it like create its own goals, and also in a way it's shaping that person's perception, like because they are acting in a certain way. The guardian has a name. Like you will have a character that is named both Bob and Lothian, and Lothian is a character that is responsible for the farming of the home, like the location of like a couple of characters. They are also maybe very talkative, very responsive. Like in general, guardians are very respectable, responsive. They're knowledgeable, wise. Like I kind of showed this not correctly. Like a guardian isn't just like, oh, it's completely inside. It's also kind of a little bit extruding, since the guardian has knowledge that the like the consciousness does not. It's like the consciousness doesn't get absolutely everything that the like get to know everything that the guardian does, but the guardian kind of gets to know everything that the consciousness decides to do, since it's interacting with it like directly. So what this all translates to is an interaction where for the very first year you are inside your body, but you are also possessed. And that possession is fully controlling you, but also giving you control so that you can slowly start acting on your own free will, etc. And then at the 1 year mark, something happens. And once that happens, something else happens. What happens? I don't know. That will be for next time. If they all have deities in them, does that mean that they have no free will? Are the creatures just like vessels or vassals for the deities? So that is the free will question, in that like the consciousness part, I guess it depends. So in terms of the puppets, yes, they don't have free will, and also they do kind of have free will because it's the will of the deity. So like speaking from inside, no, these some of the creatures that belong to the one namers, they don't have free will. Their will is actually like it belongs to the deity itself. Whereas here, the will is actually like the will is actually what we would call the will, what we understand as the will, is a deity. It is just a deity that has been so restricted so heavily that all it is a will, basically. And then the body and the like body ability, the minds, etc., is handled by other deities. So like some deities are there to create like bodies, manifestations, and kind of like these vessels, and others are there to act as the will. So like, to some extent, like looking from a character's perspective, they are a deity, they are all powerful, like the actual conscious part of that, but they don't necessarily know it. So, and this combination, this like combination of deities, etc., is what creates the two namers, what we would call like humans, people, then a couple of other beings, etc. I think I might actually say that simple beings, because I actually don't like the idea of, oh, like animals and such are only puppets. I like it's technically not. I think that every animal should have their own, like their own consciousness, like their own full consciousness, and not just being split up by like a split up of one deity. I don't know. I guess I'll decide that. Simple beings, like are these simple? Are they splits or are they fully full beings? Splits or fully self? I'll have to think. Maybe maybe I'll have a system of both. So in a way, you'll have something. Here's a word of advice: fuck the game, write a book. Wow. Okay. So first of all, I am honored. Thank you. Also, no, I won't fuck the game. Like I want to make the game, but I really appreciate the enthusiasm. So I guess at this point, this isn't a spoiler. Where do I have it? Oh wow, it's here. Um, this this part right here. This was actually like this. So the very everything from before, maybe from 0 to maybe let's say 7 years, was actually where I first had the idea that I could maybe write a book about this. And I still have the idea, and I might do that at some point. I don't know if it's gonna be like. I don't think I'm gonna. Well, you could. Yeah, I definitely. I would really love to. I think like. I'm not sure if I could do it completely by myself. Since yeah, I have like ideas and like abstractly and generally I have ideas, but I'm not sure how capable I would be to actually present it with through the medium of reading. I would paste the lore I have for some world I had made, but I don't think I have enough characters in the chat box. Okay. Like as an example, I would love to see it. Yeah, like just to finish the point is, I think I would definitely need some help because I'm not sure about like a book has very specific things it needs to like in how it's attractive, it how it's read, its flow, its pacing, etc. And I do not actually have that much experience. It's 25,000 pages and 17 pages of lore. Lord, right? Like you wrote that you have so much written down. Like yeah, like you're well on your way to like making turn it into a book. Like literally, that is impressive. That's like 25,000 characters. This is the intro. Ah, okay. Oh, this is the intro. I felt like the 17 pages was the intro. Okay. Mm-mm. Oh boy, this is already like reading like a book. Okay. Evergreen, a rather welcoming name. Perfect for a land full of calm, peace, and beauty. Evergreen in this case is the name of a vast kingdom. This kingdom is an incredibly complicated but majestic land and its people as well. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy as I tell you about Evergreen. First of all, where did Evergreen come from? Well, the most early evidence of anyone living here was around over 8,000 years ago, though if you truly think about it, it could be as far back as 50,000 years. You see the I was right. I can't even fit the intro. Okay, I like it. Like it's already. I don't know if that was intentional, but it's all. I'm already like reading it as a book. It's not like. Oh, okay. Yeah. Let's skip that. Skip the yapping. Let's get to cracking on this intro. You see, the oldest trace of civilization in the kingdom is a large ancient hotel in the center of Heverlia. No other building outdated this, and that record is still held up to this day. The actual date of foundation of the kingdom is completely unknown, and absolutely no one can tell when it could ever be because of the incredibly vague amount of information on anything before the recorded history of Evergreen. Though not everyone is so clueless, one person may know the answer on the timeline. Ooh, is that a cliffhanger or are you trying to. Okay, 1 second. One may be asking who this 100 person is. He's the oldest person in Evergreen and supposedly some sort of god. Very little is known about him, but all that is known is whoever this person is, they are the most powerful in the kingdom. Now I think you've heard enough about the kingdom itself and the basics on it now. Now why don't we get to work on actually unraveling this massive mystery? With so many things to explain, how can this ever have an order? Well, that's very easy to do. I'm trying to fit it all in. Yeah, I imagine like just cutting and pasting it until you have like it in like pastable chunks. I guess that would be the it. Okay, okay. I'm hooked. I'm hooked. I have to get ready. I need some sleep, but this is worth it. Let's go. A simple first paragraph to show a bit more if you'd like. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I will contain myself. So this is going to be like the paragraph or what you will send me is going to be all I'm going to read, and then I'm going to wrap up the stream. But yeah, okay, let's read it. Cities of Evergreen. Evergreen is the okay. Chat scroll. Sorry. Cities of Evergreen. Evergreen is the main city of the kingdom. It is used as a capital as well as the largest megapolis of the city. Though in Scriptorium, the language of Evergreen, they don't have terms for city, megapolis, or metropolis. So to them, everything is a settlement, village, or town. In this kingdom, the size of a village does not matter only by its population, and Evergreen, the size of a village only does not matter only its. Sorry, in this kingdom, the size of a village does not matter, only its population, and Evergreen having over 1 million people living in it, is considered the largest village in the kingdom, which is quite a fitting label for the capital of such a large kingdom. Though not only Heatherlea contains an important building, Evergreen has the main hall and Steffi's mansion. Both constructions are very important because they contain alatine. Alatine is a rare gem that will be explained later on, but for now, all you need to know on alatine is that it is very rare and very precious. The buildings each have an arch constructed fully of this material. There, I got it to fit in 2 messages this time. Okay, nice. First off, I like the name drop, like sneaky. Steffi's mansion has a good ring to it. Um, Evergreen has the main hall. Okay, yeah. The name Steffi is an acronym. Steffy. Okay, I didn't know that. Is that like a spoiler, or would you mind sharing that? Ah, I won't spell what it stands for, but it's quite important for the lore. Gotcha. Okay, okay, cool. Did you make the name? Did you create the name before having the idea for the game, or um, did you already have like the name as a username and then you created it, turned it into an acronym? Like if that is not like a spoiler itself. Like just basically, what was like was Steffi the acronym created before coming up with the idea for Lord or after? My username is supposed to be Steffi Cookies, and I got it in primary school, but no, this lore predated Lord by almost 2 years. Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, that is really cool that you turned that into like turned it into a how do you call it? Um, like an acronym for the lore of the world. That is like a really nice touch. Yeah, and so far I really liked reading it. Um, the Steffi name was just a way for me to bring myself into the story. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, yeah. That is a nice like that is a nice way to do that. Yeah. Um, oh, that is a Google Docs page. Ah, okay, but I don't have access. Is that like the whole lore? Here's the rest. I'm not sure if it works or not. I can do an access request. Um, 1 second. Hmm. What do I do? Ah, okay. Oh, okay. Ah, okay. I can actually watch it. Oh, okay, yeah. 17 pages long. Wow. Okay, yeah, I can view it. This is awesome. Okay, I changed it to public. Okay, nice. Yeah. There is a lot written here. Okay. Thank you very much, Steffi, for sending it. And I'm not gonna read it now or today probably, since I am going to go on a trip for the weekend. So sadly, I am going to be not streaming tomorrow. It's sad, but I know I don't think I will have the strength to stream like after like what we're going to do through the day. So yeah, so I'll be back on Monday. Yeah, thanks, Steffi. Uh, thank you very much. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining. Thank you personally to Steffi, like just for the encouragement, and also it was just lovely chatting with you. And also, thank you for showing me like your lore. It's I didn't finish my sentence. I really liked reading it. Like I liked how it builds up. I really like the idea of like, oh, there aren't like towns or cities. It's all cities. It's all settlements, and then like you are presenting it like a history book, but also it's like interesting to read. So it's not like oh, this is like a factual like here are all of the facts of what happened and like nothing less. There's like flavor. There's a narrator. I like that. So yeah, best of luck with I guess the project and with the lore. I would love to like I know read it out loud at some point, maybe even for stream or just like to myself. That's fine too. I'm not sure if you'd noticed, but the scriptorium language I created was originally for this lore, and that later took for Lord. Hmm. strong language I created was originally for this lore. Gotcha. Okay. Wait, so is Evergreen and Lord it's the same universe or not? Or am I mixing something up? Evergreen and Lord are in the same universe, but not the same planet. Ah, gotcha. Okay, this is getting even more interesting. All right. Okay. So, yeah, I have to call it here now. So, thank you, everyone. Have a great rest of your weekend. And I will see you all on Monday. So, yeah, have a great